Hello? I think it's already recording. Hello?
The lighting.
It's already recording, I think.
Okay, cool bananas.
Just to let you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like I'm one of those those things on the when you make a phone call, it goes how it goes, for your information, this call may be recorded for quality and coaching purposes.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
How you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're just doing Red Burley.
Oh yeah, you're really suffering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been a horrible lockdown for me. It's been like total torture. Like going to the beach every day and having just full capacity to nature and freedom, and the opposite to what you guys. It's just been horrible. Horrible.
You're just running around the jungle somewhere.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh well, it was your turn. It was your turn to be free as a bird.
I feel that. Prior to that, as we both know, that I felt like I was in that mental lockdown behind pre-COVID, you know. So
Yeah.
we've all experienced that lockdown in some way or another, but it just had a title around our external. So, yeah, I'm totally grateful. But I guess that, like, you know, on the journey throughout all this as well, like I was saying to you, like, once your COVID laws have lifted and you go back to normality, like what will become is what was still there. You know what I mean? It just held still water, like damned everything. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically what it did, I've just got to wind up this window, I think, for the sound. Oh, what it did was it highlighted, exacerbated, amplified shit. Okay, I don't know how to use this carpet. Oh my god. What the hell? Wait. How do I turn it off? How do I turn it off? Oh my god. Okay, now it's going to put you through Bluetooth.
Just turn the ignition off.
I have.
Take your key out of the car.
Well, the key, like, it's keyless.
Ah.
All right. Maybe that's done it. Okay, yeah, so I feel like basically anything that was already there pre-lockdown, pre-COVID, whatever you want to say, has been like amplified, exacerbated, highlighted. So it's like, let's just say, for example, somebody had like a fear around money or a concern or a story about scarcity. Then this experience has like amplified that fear or that story around money. And let's just say somebody had a story or a fear around being alone and not feeling supported. Well, then this would sort of like highlight and exacerbate it. You see, what I've come to realize is, that I almost like celebrate. I almost celebrate illness. I almost celebrate sickness of some sort. Like, for example, I can hear like, I feel like I could hear some woman laughing, but maybe it's me. I feel like, for example, like if somebody, let's just say, gets like a flu and, you know, they've got heaps of phlegm and they've got heaps of mucus and everything that's all coming out, I would be the one to say, oh, it's great, you're having a detox, you know, like it's just, you know, all sort of like, you know, the toxins and all of like the old like being detoxed and like coming out. And in a way, I just sort of feel like even with this virus, it's almost like it's been a virus for the world, if you know what I mean. It's like it's been this virus that's like sweeping through And what that virus is doing is like drawing our awareness and drawing and highlighting and amplifying what already wasn't working. And I'm sort of like I mean, it's not cool that people have died, but I think those people were going to die anyway of something. I truly believe that because I believe that everybody has their time, and whenever we die, it is their time, and it was going to happen regardless. And B, I do feel that most of the people that died of COVID died with COVID, so they already had something else anyway. But I'm not celebrating everything that everybody's been through because it's been really friggin' tough. But what I am saying is that it feels like it's a virus that's like almost swept through, and it's done what it almost like needed to do. It's stirred up what it needs to stir up. It's amplified what it needs to amplify. It's highlighted what it needed to highlight. And I truly do believe that everybody's response to it is absolutely perfect. Like me, I've been fucking angry. I've been really pissed at like the level of human rights violation. And I do honestly feel that I was meant to feel that. Like, even though I believe that this whole situation is perfect and it's happening for us, and it's this big wave of like eros and this big wave of love that's just been so discombobulating that it's like rattled the crap out of us, but actually it's revolution. I'm still embracing how angry I felt because actually it's liberated me in a way, because honestly, I feel like I can be publicly angry now. Like I can be publicly frustrated. I feel like I have given permission for my full expression of my opinion, because like I'm so used to giving it now, and I'm not scared now to talk about religion or to talk about politics or to talk about all the things that before was like a little bit, oh, better avoid that because, you know, don't want to upset the apple cart or whatever, don't want to disagree with people, etc. And now I almost feel like it's been like a training. It's been like a training, almost like learning debating back at school. Because I used to be somebody who was quite comfortable to express my opinions, who was quite comfortable to say I was against racism or homophobia or whatever. But slowly, I think over the years, I don't know, it's become a bit more controversial. It's a bit more subtle, things that you're upset about. There's more people with more opinions. But this has really helped me to liberate myself in a way, like just really owning how I want to live my life and really almost like being willing to be different, being willing to have a different opinion, being willing to stand out, being willing to stand up. So it's actually, yeah, been really great in so many ways. And it's given me a lot of clarity personally about what I do want to be doing and what I don't want to be doing anymore. And almost like, I reckon a lot of the changes that are going to come out of this are changes that were already in the pipeline anyway. They're changes that were already going to be or needed to be made. And this is like pushed people, you know what I mean?
Well,
And
I think it's a matter of like cleaning out the closet, you know what I mean, to make new space. Like things can't come in without things being swept out, you know.
totally, yeah.
And I think that it's given everyone that kind of short fuse effect where it's good to sort of just say, look, you know what, fuck it, I've had an absolute enough. And you've got like this constant trigger around you that's constantly prodding you. And it's kind of like, what is it? When you're a hoarder, you know what I mean? Like hoarding things from the past or hoarding things in the now or holding things from the future. It's just sort of prod that really quickly. And it sort of highlights for me that, you know, time's not infinite for me in this body. Time will be infinite for else and other, but not always spirit in this body. So I've had that awakening where you can just you can waste a lot of time doing absolutely fuck all, or you can just like get cracking exactly what you want to have. You know what I mean?
Totally. Oh my God, it's good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I
I'm
feel
usually a
really
bit more.
stressed. I feel really stressed. This morning in the shower, I sat there for quite a while, and I just thought, you know what? Like, I thought I'm just going to tell, because the thing is, like, every single part of me is really happy that you're over there, or wherever you are. I don't even know what to say over there, but up there, wherever, right? But I have to be able to own and express that I want you to come home and that I am really fucking gutted, frustrated, stressed, like all the things that you're not here. And normally I wouldn't ever say that because I don't ever want that to come across like I'm not happy for you to be there or that I want to interrupt your journey by any way, shape, or form, because I would never do that. I would never, ever want to limit you in any way, as you know. And I want you to just have every experience in the world possible that you want to have. And I want you to see the world. I want you to meet the people. I want you to do all of it. But I can't, but if I don't own that I want you here and that I want you home and that I'm frustrated as hell that you're not here and that I miss you and that I'm sad and I'm like down about it in a way, if I don't own that, then I'm just going to start to feel resentful. So this morning in the shower, I thought, fuck this, I'm just going to say it out loud because I never, ever, ever say it out loud, but I'm pissed off that you're not here. You know what I mean? Like, I want you home. And I'm not saying this to make you feel anything. Please don't feel anything about it or feel whatever you're going to feel. But I have to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I am frustrated that you're not here.
Mm.
Like, but I don't want you here. I'm glad you're there. I'm so glad you're there. And would never want you to come back, until you want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I am feeling just so frustrated. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's so weird because sometimes I think like, when like, for example, somebody's dying and you're like, you're just being shocked. You know what I mean? Like, finally die, like you're devastated, but then it's like almost like that's when you just realize how stressed you've been. It's like when Nana was dying, like I just went into full survival mode to be there for her, and I sat by her bedside every single day for a month or however long it was, and I was there for every nappy change and just all of it. And I didn't realize how stressed I was until she actually died. And then honestly, I mean, that seems logical, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is with the lockdown, it's so weird because like it's actually over, sort of, and in a way it's not over. And so that's also feels scary. And in a way, like I don't even want to like lean fully into it's not over because it's like I don't want to get hurt again. You know what I mean? I don't want to get hurt again. And so many people are saying shit on Facebook like, oh, the whingers, or apparently if you found it difficult, you're a whinger now. That's the newest thing. And I'm just like, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. There were so many human rights violations. It was really difficult. I'm all good with it as far as like spiritually, I think it was meant to be and everything. And obviously, because it happened and I was meant to be here and all the rest of it. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I think it's weird because now that it's over, you would think that I would be like jumping for joy. But now I feel stressed. I don't even think I even felt that stress throughout it. I felt angry. I felt manic. I felt lonely, all sorts of shit. Not lonely, but alone. But now it's over and I feel like I should be jumping for joy. But now I feel so stressed. And it's so weird because it's like I started feeling super stressed the day that lockdown ended, 2 days ago or whatever. The stress, I feel actual literal stress in my body. And I just don't really know what's going on, to be
No,
honest.
not a psychologist, but that's like really natural, because it's sort of almost like the Stockholm syndrome, where we get like attached to the captivity, you know what I mean? And when we come out of that captivity, it gives you free range of choices and ability. But A, what are they? B, do I have the ability to do it? And C, do I even want them? Because like when you don't have something, all you want is what you don't have. And then when you have it, then all of a sudden you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so it's like, honestly, to be honest, it's also like nobody can reject you when you're in lockdown, because it's like nobody can see you anyway. Do you know what I mean? Now it's like, not that I feel rejected or abandoned or whatever, but I don't know, it almost like compartmentalized shit, made it easier in a way. Yeah. Now it's like, fuck, now I'm just alone and there's so many options.
Yeah.
But now I don't even want any of the options. Like, now I have to fully acknowledge what's not working in my life, whereas for a while I could just blame lockdown. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You really want to try not to move your camera so much too, Dale. You can keep it still as possible. Yeah, it's totally natural. It's going to be a natural process, and that bit's kind of obvious. And as like what we're sharing, what we've spoken about before, it's like, I don't know, like life will go forward in the way that it was when it set off or when it got pushed back, you know what I mean? And then what was under the covers will rise up, kind of like a Dutch oven, you know what I mean? Some people's lives have farts written all over it. You know, so like I said, like what our conversation was like, completion of mission, you know what I mean? And when there was possibility of like, do I come home and do all this kind of stuff, like it would feel like I haven't achieved yet what this journey has given me access to. You know what I mean? Like I've done the travel between Sydney and Queensland leisurely and done all that, and that's sort of what's sort of been doing. But that's not what drew. That was not the reason why the universe brought me away. So I wasn't in Melbourne lockdown. Do you know what I mean? There's more to it, and there's more to your your life, existence. Yeah, your existence in lockdown will have its benefits in the short term and long range, and then my existence from not being in lockdown will have its short range and long range forecast come forward. But it doesn't have the old way of just returning back to normality now. You know what I mean? And I think that's what frustration is that you have been kept in prison. I've been set free. For me to come back and just pick up the same reins that I left off, it doesn't have any resemblance. It doesn't have any there's not enough potency there. And I think that if we look around us, like even in friends and family or whatever, the mission has been like, I don't know, if you look at, pre-mission to now mission, it's been such a difference between how it would have been done to how it is now, that to return back to the old now doesn't seem like it's going to have its same potency. It's time to it is really time to move forward in whatever field that is, whether it's some people lost life and that was their time to move forward to go to the next mission. You know what I mean? Melbourne had to be in lockdown to experience what the next mission was going to be. It's the way the universal, it's like just, I don't know, like an eco balance over matter in consumption and consumerism and just past way of doing things. You know what I mean? Like your freedom and our freedom can be taken at any time now, and it's not to be taken for granted. And, most in human ideology that this would just be, well, if there's a vaccine tomorrow, then in 3 weeks this would just be totally forgotten and everything would return back to absolute complete normal. And that's fine for some, but I think for me, turning 40 now, there's like a new road to walk. I think there's a road for everyone.
When are you turning 40? In April?
Next year, yeah. Under a year away.
Wow.
So then, yeah. And
new decade,
yeah.
that's awesome.
And you spend Well, you spend the next, how did I think I worded it in my head? Like you spend the first 40 years taking risk and then the next 40 preserving the effect of the risk so it doesn't become problematic for you. You know what I mean? Whether
Spend
that's
the first
substance
40 years
taken,
get really wasted, and then spend the next 40 years trying to like
preserve it, yeah,
rehabilitate yourself,
undo the damages,
reverse it.
reverse all the damages. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
damage control.
So that's what's like there for me. You know what I mean? And evidently this week's been different for me than most weeks. Yeah, really trying to like experience a new reality inside a different body now. And I think that to return home would return back to an old body and have its same presence. You know what I mean? It'd be a similar movie. And I need to take this body with a new body into a new reality. And that's what I honestly believe is that the body is like everything, as what I said to you this morning, that, you know, whatever I guess programming the body's under is the program that you're going to experience the reality in. And until you shift your body into a different state of health, because it's always going to be health, I feel, a different immunity, then you're going to have a different, I guess, ecosystem around you. And that's when your reality changes. And that's why, you know, returning back to the old now longer doesn't feel congruent, because to return back to the old feels like there's almost this indefinite amount of time. But when you keep realizing that you can't always go back, you can only go forward. And I think that's just a conclusion that we're not immortal. So we need to go forward, like Osho said, burn the bridge, move forward.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, last year I was in Bali, and I feel like, you know, I experienced like coming out of the burnout. I experienced almost like a rebirth where I feel I birthed myself, a new version of myself, but I didn't know what I was birthing. It wasn't like I was in control of what was being birthed. It's almost like the rebirthing process was revealing the new self to me. I still don't know who that new self is, to be honest. But then I think what happened is I came back from Bali and, you know, I went straight into lockdown, literally. I didn't even know about the coronavirus. I mean, I was in Bali and my parents were telling me something about it, but I was just thinking,
No. I don't think so. You will in Uluru by then. It just kicked off. It just happened.
No, because when I was in Bali, there was some shit going on the cruise boats or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But I was just hearing it like, oh, God, it's the bird flu all over again. Like, it's just people, which I still think is anyways, but it's just people just carrying on about nothing. Which, because I do feel that this is just any other flu and they've just like discombobulated the numbers. I don't even know what the hell's going on, but anyway, but I still do feel that it's, you know, and at that time I just thought, oh, God, it's the whole world gone paranoid again. Just relax. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. So I paid like absolutely no attention to it. And then, came back from Bali. We went to Uluru. Yeah, you're right. And then within like a week being back in Melbourne, we were in like a full lockdown. Anyway, what I feel is that it's like I took this expanded, reborn version of myself and like had to squeeze it back in, firstly to my old life, like back into all of my houses. It's like each of them I absolutely love. But when I'm in there, I'm like, this is like, it's like squeezing myself into an old pair of jeans that I don't fit into anymore. Like I feel constricted. I feel constrained. I feel restricted. I feel small because it's like the new me is different to the life that I've got here. So it's like I'm trying to feel like a circle into a square, you know, and it's like every time I squeeze myself, it's even like how I bought the new car. And then I've been driving my old car because it's got the tow ball and the roof racks. And I needed to tow the trailer and, you know, chuck a window on the top and do all sorts of things to the stuff down at the island. And it's like, as I'm driving that old car, it's like I'm actually just re-engaging or invigorating or re-communicating with like an old version, an old reality of myself. And it's like, why? Why do I struggle so much to like let that go? Like, really, I need to, because, you know, my 20s were completely different to my 30s. Completely so far. I mean, I'm still in my 30s, and I really want to enjoy the rest of my 30s for what this decade is, because each decade has proven to just be so different, you know, and my 30s so far has been so different to my 20s. And it's like, you know, I'm ready for a whole new chapter. It's like I've been running retreats, I've had these houses, I've had this car, I've had all of this for at least 10 years. We've been doing Airbnb, $150,000 a year Airbnb business. Great. Tick, done it. You know, we've been doing that, you know, 10 years, you know, and I want a whole new chapter. I want everything to be new. And that brings me to feeling like I want to release all the houses. I want to release the car. I want to release, not because any of it's wrong. It was all my dream. I have been living my dream, living the dream. Yes, it's been challenging. Yes, it's been hard. Yes, I went through a spiritual awakening that occurred to be more like a burnout and some sort of weird space I was in the last few years. Yes, I've come out of that. I've expanded. You know, and now it's like a whole new reality that I want to create. And I don't know if that means I have to let go of every single part of it in the physical world, because it's like driving this old car. It's like, it feels limiting in a way. It doesn't feel, it's in a way, it's like I feel like a teenager when I'm driving that car. When I drive my new car, I feel like an adult. I feel like a woman. I feel like a man. I feel like, oh, like big in my power. My testicles feel huge driving that car, you know. I'm turned on by the new car. I love the old one. I get into it. I'm like, oh, and in a way, it feels more comfortable. I feel more in control. I feel more on top of it. I feel like I can drive it easier. You know, that the new car like stretches me. You know, I have to really learn how to accelerate more effectively because it's more sensitive. I need to learn how to brake more effectively because it's more sensitive. I need to learn how to park differently because it's huge. You know, it's like it's calling me into something. It's calling me into a space, you know? And I think that's why I need to get rid of the old houses as well, because I just feel like I just want to rebirth. I just want a whole new experience for my life. And that's what you're experiencing right now. Or maybe you're having similar experience to what I had in Bali, which is almost like, you know, the stepping stone. I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. But it's beautiful. That's why I'm so happy that you're there and you're exploring and you're, you know, you're attracting new opportunities. You're living a new dream. And so you should. Life is too short. Do not replay the past 10 years again. Why, you know?
Yeah, well, I definitely won't. Definitely not. That's where, and it is scary because it's confronting. But to let it go, you have to have a new body. I believe that. Like
Well, I
whatever.
do feel my body is completely different, to be honest, because I birthed a new body. Like, it is different. So you're right, you know?
Yeah.
That's probably why it feels
Well, if
squishy
you
to
think
be back
about
here.
your car, you know, a car represents a vessel. You know what I mean? So it's a vessel, it's just like your body. So when you do get a new car, it's like upgrading your vessel to something. You know what I mean? So you're ready to transport yourself to something different and new, but there is no but. Yeah, you're really, and that's what it's just those. It's a matter of now, like what I was saying back to you, like reversing back to the old or moving forward. You know what I mean? And you know what you got to cut free. Everyone does. You know what I mean? And it's always going to be. It's not what you know. It's how you attach yourself to your houses. If that's part of what you feel is an unhealthy anchor, because when you step inside those houses, yeah, you love them, but there's like an attachment to an old love, not like a new generation or a new creative love. And that's evidently what we're doing down at Phillip Island. But yeah, that's what feels like comes up to me a lot now is like, if I want to, if it's the world reset, then, we have to reset our body, and the mind's so transparent. It's just going to absorb whatever's around it. You know what I mean? It's always a delayed reaction anyway. So it's just the body that we've got to reset, and everyone knows what button that is, what food you need to be eating, if you're fasting, all this kind of stuff, so widely available. And it's time to like really sort of, I don't know, get the body right, then the rest will change. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
The body will change. The mind will change.
I guess my body is amazing. Like, it feels so amazing right now. What it is for me, I think it's my physical environment. Like, you've just gone and immersed yourself in your exact favorite type of nature, like you thrive in that. Rainforest, beach, surf, rainforest, waking up hearing the birds, me too. And that's probably why I thrived in Bali. I love Victoria. I love Melbourne. I really do. But something about this culture here as well. It's a very look at what we've just been through. We're bloody babysat here. Like, there's too many rules. I feel constricted. There's too many rules, not even just lockdown, just in general. It's almost too safe here for me. It's like, I like to feel like, stretched. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, well, you're definitely being stretched.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm really gutted about those trees that just got cut down, and that's what I mean. I'm struggling to I know I was born in a physical body on planet Earth at this time because I'm meant to be a human. I'm meant to be in a human form. I'm meant to be here, right? But I'm struggling with being a human when what I'm witnessing and what I'm perceiving is like a lack of empathy for nature, a lack of empathy for others. I mean, the fact that those trees were allowed to be cut down, I can't comprehend with any part of me. And it's not just about the tree. The tree, yes, please, why the hell did they cut down the trees, right? They're amazing. Every tree is amazing, but the cultural significance and just the sheer fact of how important those trees were to so many people, and they were willing to cut them down regardless, with no regard, with disregard for the importance to those people. I struggle. I'm struggling today. I'm struggling today to be here. I'm struggling today to be here. I don't know why people just shit all over each other. I don't understand. I don't get it. How? And all these small things happening in my life that are like big metaphors. Like, I just went to Carrum and they're ripping up the driveway, and they accidentally, like, they had to destroy my front step. And one of the guys is like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about your front step." And I'm like, "Oh, it's absolutely fine, right? No problem. I was not bothered about the front step. It's concrete, yeah? It's like a concrete step. It's like, that's fine." But then he came over. I think he was really concerned that he'd, like, damaged my front step, and it's absolutely fine, but it's beautiful that he was concerned. And he came over and he's like, basically sort of looking at me for a moment, like, as I was like inspecting my step. And I just, and I was trying to lift this massive bit of concrete because they put the concrete straight on top of one of my cactuses. And I was trying to lift the concrete off, and he goes, I said, "Oh, the only thing is you've put this concrete block on my cactus." And like, I could see the little cactus, like, part of it. coming out from underneath. And I said, oh my God, he's squashed, you know. Anyway, he took the concrete off and he goes, oh, they're pretty hardy. And I said, yeah, but it's not, I'm not, you know, thinking, oh, he's going to, you know, my cactus is, you know, like whatever. I'm actually thinking, my cactus, the poor cactus, not my cactus, the cactus. Like,
Yeah, the earth
not
cactus.
like, oh, you've ruined my cactus, whatever. The poor cactus, like, it's got
I know.
feelings. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, that was like a metaphor for what's going on with these trees. Like, you know, it's like it would be like running over somebody's pet, you know, as opposed to like hunting a animal in the wild. I don't want the animal in the wild hunted either. But if somebody's going to kill somebody's pet, that's also a whole family who's feeling significant about that animal. It's like they cut down this tree that's got thousands of years of significance to these people with no regard, Michael. No regard for the tree or the people or what it represents or the unification or the communication. Like, where's the communication? So I'm struggling to be a human today, and I'm struggling to be here in a country where we're supposedly not racist, we're supposedly not prejudiced, we supposedly care for nature. Do we?
Well, I don't know if I remember. I shared a story in the last podcast, called Arnie Bev is her name, and she spoke about the land where she's from, which is in the Glass Mountain region, which is on the Sunshine Coast, and she said this really, really beautiful thing is that how far we can look forward is how far we can look back. And in the ceremony of the smoke ceremony, there's a guy there called Didge, and he was a white man, and he's been accepted to their family, which is an Aboriginal family. She said it's not an easy thing to do, but he's seen as a brother. And what was unique about this story is that she went on to say things like Brisbane's not called Brisbane. That has a very clear name of what that region is. Sydney's not called Sydney. That's very clear. And Melbourne's definitely not Melbourne. So the society that we live in looks back not far at all. Therefore, it can only go so far forward. And Arnie Bev said that she's looked back 5 generations back. Now she can see 5 generations forward. In that generational forward is what I saw, and I didn't share this others, but with the white man. And in the dream, in the forward thinking, the white man tells the truth of the Aboriginal story, of the Aboriginal dream time. And that's how we spread the honest history of the land. That's how we spread peace. And the reason why that tree got cut down is because we don't look too far further back than more than 10 years ago, no longer 450,000 years ago. It hasn't been educated in our mind. Therefore, the projection forward so minimal. Therefore, that's why I can just cut down trees with no consideration. It's really important that we come to understand the honest truth about history. And that gives us a real depth on how far we can look back to how far we can go forward. So if we take that upon yourself within your own healing, just like I was saying to you this morning, that I do think addiction's a DNA thing. I think that, naturistic, there is certain things that we need to survive on, but substance abuse is something that's in the DNA. So when we can go further back, then we can prevent it from going further forward. And that's what I think this whole generation, including yourself, as one of the leaderships in this whole enterprise, is you're decoding the family trees of history of thousands and thousands of people that have carried this genetic gene in your system that you've got right now. And that sort of coincides a little bit with what occurred with that beautiful tree. Because it's not shared amongst all, it's only kept amongst the group, then the group hasn't had the ability to spread it. And that's a real shame, because it takes an awakened person to journey that history and get to understand that history, because it's not going to be Googled, or it's not going to be found. You know what I mean? It has to be discovered. And inside of that discovery has this beautiful pathway that will give the world an opportunity to really see the beauty in a particle of sand, to a three-legged dog, to a 1,000-year-old tree. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I think it's just an absolute disgrace. And then I don't really want to go into the political of it, but I heard the response about saving lives, and that tree gave probably 30,000 generations of proper life, because without a tree, you're dead. It needs oxygen to cleanse the earth. You know what I mean?
So what were they justifying it by saying that the road's going to be a life-changing thing, as in like the road?
Correct.
The road,
I heard him say 11 people have died on that road, and we need to make the road more safe. Yeah, but that tree's been unacknowledged for what life it's given. Now, there's been multiple thousands of species of birds and multiple thousand species of human beings that has benefit from that tree providing clean oxygen. And
that's just
clean.
physically. Spiritually.
Yeah, exactly.
Spiritually, it's given, yeah. And that's what I mean. I don't know how to, what's the word? Reconcile. Like, I don't know how to reconcile this for myself, because all I can do is just fall back or sit back into my beliefs of everything's happening for us. Everything's happening for the greater good. I was meant to be born here at this time. I was meant to be experiencing everything that I'm experiencing. This is why I have these beliefs for times like this, when I start questioning my ability to be here, like not in a suicidal way or anything like that. I just mean, how? I just don't know. I honestly feel like I don't belong here, because how I can't belong with other people who don't feel, and I'm sure I've already said this to you before a few weeks ago, like I just don't know how I can belong with other people who are okay with this.
Well, I don't know what happened. So today in the first day course, and it happens in every first day course, that someone tells the stories of all their stories about them doing CPR, someone's OD, the time they had to like band someone up. You know what I mean? And there's this lady in there today that like we got to know a lot about her history through her sharing. And it just was so annoying to listen to. And it was just, I'm sitting in the room and it just felt like I was being held up to get out of there earlier, because what she was saying had nothing to do with really what we're doing. It was just her just wanting to tell her story. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt a bit angry towards myself, because I'm like, fuck, the chick's just like sharing, but I just can't be fucked listening to it, mate. You know what I mean? I just can't be fucked, mate, to hear this in this moment, when if you just look outside, there's a whole blue sky waiting for this canvas, and here I am just listening to your story that I know you've told 1,000 times before. And yeah. I'm not saying it's got poor me written all over it, but fuck, who hasn't got poor me tattooed on themselves? You know what I mean? Anyway, it's a funny world. I've got 10% of my battery left, so it's going to drop back then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I guess in a way, like, if we weren't supposed to have a story, if we weren't supposed to have like barriers, boundaries, challenges, stories, we would have just remained a beam of unconditional light. Like we were meant to be conditional, we were meant to be in this body, otherwise we wouldn't be. And as a byproduct of having this condition called a body, it comes with challenges, such as that body can be violated, or that body can have emotions that don't feel so comfortable, or that body can see things that challenge our very nature You know what I mean? So I know that this is the human experience, and the human experience is one of challenge. It's inbuilt. It's inbuilt that this life is supposed to be challenging, otherwise it wouldn't be. It's supposed to push us to our edges. It's supposed to you know, I've got 20% battery too. What's going on? We're both like running low on battery.
Old flat
Yeah.
batty.
Flat battery. I've lost it. I've lost it today. I've lost it.
You need
Anyway,
to go have a little can of whoop ass and just relax.
yeah, I need a good fucking spanking. That's what I need. Like, I just need to be bent over a bloody someone's lap and just have this shit spanked out of me.
Yeah.
Or a wrestle, or a swim in the ocean, or what are the other options? Dance, sing, ride on the back of a motorbike. I need something intense. Boxing. Oh dear. The other day, we were talking, Eric, the guy who bought the block of land next door, off the block of land, he bought it off us. What are you giggling at?
Nah, we had a little friend that just stopped by.
An animal or a child?
Nah, a little human.
No.
A little human.
No. We like little humans. Yeah, so the guy who bought the block of land that I subdivided, he yesterday, I think it was, or whatever, he says, "Oh, Rachel, do you like fishing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually do. I really like fishing." I said, "But there is only one problem." And that he goes, "What is it?" And I go, "I don't like the fish getting killed."
Yep.
But I actually like fishing. And that made me think about it because, I mean, the truth is, what I really love is spearfishing. I love being under the water with the mask and the spear, and I love how the spear works. Like, the spears are so cool, and I love the precision of them. I love I just love the straight lines. I love the mechanisms. Like, I love it all. Anyway, but I don't like seeing the fish getting killed. I don't like the knowledge that the fish got killed. I don't like the fish being killed. I just don't like killing the thing or knowing that it got killed. But I actually love the spear. I love the fishing. I love, like, for example, I fantasize about bashing the shit out of somebody, but I would never want anybody to get hurt. So
That's because that's what I call suppressed anger. Whatever you fantasize is what you suppress.
I disagree.
I fantasize about
no, because you're right, because I've got suppressed violence.
Yeah.
Because I would never allow myself to be violent.
Correct. So you fantasize about it. Totally.
Yeah. I would never allow myself to do it. I don't ever want anyone to get hurt, but I just want to have the experience of doing it.
Yeah, full throttle.
You know, and I remember Dave Thompson once, he said to me, "You need to kill an animal, or you need to, like, wrestle the shit out of somebody because you haven't integrated your, like, dark, your sort of like dark masculine sort of thing." And I really do feel that I've done, like, quite a bit of focused work since he said that on these areas.
Yeah.
That there's still something there because I'm not willing to witness suffering. I'm not comfortable witnessing suffering. I don't like it. Anyway, Eric said to me, because I was talking about how I enjoy spearfishing, but except the part about the fish getting hurt. And he goes, "I think you've got a man. I think you've got a bit of a man in you." And I go, "Oh, yeah, it's my inner man, you know?"
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it that he recognized that. Because I feel really feminine and I feel quite, like, womanly, but I also feel really manly. And I like all those sides of me. I like all of it. I really like it. I love being a woman, and I do enjoy my manly stuff, like, as in all my masculine interests, my masculine characteristics, my masculine. And actually, that's quite big because I remember I took that frog poison. There was like a frog poison, toad poison, I can't remember what it's called, but I did the frog medicine, not Cambo, a different one. What's it called? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I did it in Bali. And one of the insights that I got was that I didn't like my husky voice. I didn't like my rounded shoulders, like my big sort of like muscly shoulders. I just related to a lot of my masculine traits.
Yeah.
Not masculine traits like as far as logic or intellect or structure or form or whatever, but more like my intensity, my muscly shoulders, my voice. I related to them as unattractive, you know, and I felt like I was unattractive in my masculinity. And yeah, I guess it has been a thing around embracing that and falling in love with that part. And I think I have to a point.
Yeah, what do they say? You can never engrade the masculine until you embody the feminine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so grateful to be on this journey called life. Like, it's just that it's usually the intensity informs me of where I am at.
Yeah.
And it hasn't felt that intense lately because we've been in lockdown. So it's been a different type of intensity. Like, it's been this real deep unearthing, but it's been a quiet thing. It hasn't been the run around and do a million things and have these intense, crazy experiences, be hanging off the back of motorbikes and hiking through rainforests and getting lost and waterfalls and, you know, random, you know, orgasms under the moon, you know? Random orgasms under the moon. I don't know where that came from, but I'm just thinking back on some of my
It sounds delicious.
No, I was referring to Mexico when I was teaching that girl how to have orgasms using the energy from the moon without even touching ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I was just reflecting back on.
That's called the man in the moon, huh?
You were there, but you were in bed. You passed out drunk. Anyway, but basically, yeah, we.
Very possibly.
I know I put you to bed.
That was quite a high chance. Yeah, that night was amazing. Such a beautiful night.
It was.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not.
We know why you had a good night. The story continues with 1% battery. We have to wrap it up. Otherwise,
if you're laying on a pontoon in the middle of a lake under a full moon with a hot chick having moongasms, of course you're going to have a good night.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, let's wrap it up. But I don't know what the hell I was going to say. I think I was going to say that, yeah, this has been a beautiful unearthing experience. And anyway, thank you for this chat. I do feel much better. I don't feel stressed anymore. I felt really stressed. I think my life always works better when you're around. I just don't, it's not working because I'm not seeing you enough. I think I just need to see you, feel your energy. Even the phone calls, it's just not enough. I think I need face to face because the only time we ever see each other is on these Zoom calls.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're my medicine.
All right, dear, I'm going to let you go because it's going to go any minute now, and then I will just have a little awkward ending. So, all right, great chatting, and we'll speak to you soon.
All right, love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.